on earth is Mr. Ogden playing at?
Sounds as if the battery's gone flat, Mrs. Walker.
It was OK yesterday.
Yeah.
So were a lot of things, love. There's folk who were OK yesterday will be dead today.
Have you got the choke out?
It's not the choke. It's the battery. It's flat the pancake.
You'll have to give me a shove.
I can't keep getting on and off lorries.
What, you're supposed to be shepherd sensing and you can't climb off a lorry?
Oh.
Right, let me give you a hand down, Mrs. Walker.
Well, this sort of thing completely destroys the dignity of the occasion.
Can I give you a hand to get down, Mrs. Sharples?
I'm not shifting. If and when I get off this lorry, I am not coming back.
We are not amused, eh, Mrs. Sharples?
We're going to miss a parade. You do realise that?
It does seem as if the fates are against you, Mrs. Walker.
Right, get shoving.
Well, take the handbrake off, Stanley.
It is off.
There's no good getting worked up about it. Que sera, sera.
Yeah, that's what I always say. Least said, soonest mended.
You do realise, I hope, that we shall be the laughing stock of all Weatherfield?
Hey, we'll have to wrap this in, lads. We're getting exactly nowhere here.
Yeah, well, let's not panic. We're not panicking, Alf. Well, not much, anyway. Hey, I know. Why didn't I think of it before? Annie, love, where's your car?
Hey, you want to see Annie Walker's face? Talk about thunder. Hey, and there's your great Auntie Ina, look. Yes, and there's your Uncle Ernest and your Auntie Emily. You like them, don't you? Hey, you wouldn't mind stopping with them for the weekend while your mum and dad go down London, would you?
Give it a rest, straight.
What?
We're not leaving with the bishops, so stop prattling on about it.
Well, what have you got against them? You don't mind them when they babysit for us?
Well, that's only for a couple of hours, isn't it? I've got nothing against them, honestly. It's just that I couldn't leave Tracy with him for the weekend. I just couldn't. There's only me mum. I trust with her for that length of time.
Yeah, well, we haven't got your mum, have we? What we have got is a couple of tickets for a free weekend in London. Don't you fancy it?
Well, of course I fancy it.
Well, then let Emily have Tracy. Flipping heck, they're on the telephone. You can keep in touch all the time.
No!
Look, now go along, the lot of you. Go on. Get off my coat, go on. Every one of you. Do be careful, Mr. Ogden.
There's no danger, Mrs. Walker. I can't get a shock of a car battery.
I was thinking more of my coach work.
I could, you'd think it were flipping Coronation coach, not just an old banger.
Oh, Hilda, you do love to flirt with death.
Well, where's all this going to get us, anyway?
Well, according to Alf, Annie's battery should feed the lorry's battery and start it.
Oh, I see, said the blind man.
Try it now, Stan.
Fingers crossed.
Well, nothing seems to be happening.
I should think that's obvious to everyone.
Afraid there's been a bit of a complication, Annie. We seem to have flattened your battery as well. The lorry's taken all your juice.
You mean that you've managed to flatten my battery as well? My car won't start now.
No. I've seen that before. I knew that was going to happen.
Then why on earth didn't you say so?
Well, it's not my place, is it? Anyway, you don't like people interfering, do you?
Hey, when you've all finished, why don't you come along here and give me a hand to get down off this float? I can see we're not going to join that Jubilee procession, not today, any road.
We're not beaten yet, Mrs. Sharples.
We are, you know.
Look, Fred G's going to see if he can raise a garage. He might be able to help.
Well, on Jubilee Day, it'd take hours to find anybody.
Perhaps we could walk into town. If we set off now...
I have no intention of striding through the streets like this. Out of the question.
Mrs. Walker, shall I open up?
Now, that's the best suggestion I've heard yet.
He has a murder pint.
Oh, yeah, you deserve one, Chuck, all the hard work you've put in.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I can hear a band. The parade must have started.
Right, well, that puts the lid on it. We never make it now, anyway.
You've made a right muck of this. Here, get me down off this lorry before it turns into a pumpkin.
All right, Britannia. See as you're not ruling the waves, how about pulling us a pint?
Hang on, will I part my trident? You're nothing but moan all the time.
What would you like, Mrs. Howard? I'm going to treat you.
Why?
Just so that you know that I'm generous as well as good-looking.
Once you get on a lorry, then you get off lorry, and then no happens. I haven't been mucked about like this since I reached town.
Oh, well, nobody can blame the Ogdens this time, like they're fond of doing when anything goes wrong round here. I just hope them what's responsible feel ashamed of themselves, that's all. They say pride goes before a fall, don't they?
It's no good. I've tried every garage there is round here. There's nobody can promise nothing.
Well, I think it's disgraceful. Just because it's a public holiday, everybody thinks they can take the day off.
Well, I thought that was what public holidays were for, Mrs. Walker.
The wheels have to keep turning. Civilization must go on. For goodness sake, the protest there'd be if the licensed trade put up its shutters for the day.
Oh, you're quite right there, Mrs. Walker. No, I think they've got the right idea down the cemetery, you know. When they go on holiday, they leave a skeleton staff on.
I think that remark is in the worst possible taste and totally unfunny. But it's obvious that nobody else cares that we've let everybody down.
Oh, yes, they do. Some people are very upset. Some people think that them whose fault it is what we're in this mess ought to have the decency to apologise.
Mrs. Ogden, you seem to be insinuating that somehow it's my fault we're not taking part in the parade.
I don't have to insinuate anything. I mean, everybody knows it were you what asked the brewery to lend us a lorry. You should have asked them for a good one instead of a dud.
Well, Hilda, you've finally done it. Left Annie Walker speechless.
That's you could say, really, was there?
Large scotch.
Sorry, I don't happen to be working at the moment. I only came behind this bar to serve a few friends who also happen to have some manners.
Large scotch, you say, Squire?
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd be here. I thought you'd be in the smoke, whooping it up with your chummies.
Not in the mood, mate.
Hello, Britannia.
Oh, get you.
Not bad, eh?
Oh, wonderful. Always assuming you want to look like the backside of an old penny.
Charming, and to think I've come in here with charity in my bosom.
Oh, that's what it is. Do you know I always use cotton wool myself?
Of course you do, dear. Now, come on, Reenie, get that shop shut. It's Jubilee Day, and we're going to have a few laughs.
I can't shut shop. People are expecting me to be open.
See, if folk haven't managed to buy enough to last them till tomorrow, then they deserve to starve. We're going down to the park and having a bit of fun.
Well, I suppose I come close for once.
There's no suppose about it. Get your best knickers on. We're going where the action is.
Oh, just called me before I shop.
Not shopping, I'm socialising. Thought I'd run you down to the park.
No, thanks. I'm going with Reenie.
Well, I'll take you both then.
Oh, good.
We don't want to put you to any trouble.
No trouble, I promise you.
I'm not, but it might be to me.
Suit yourself then. Give us a bottle of scotch, will you?
Hitting the bottle a bit lately, don't you think?
I haven't bothered to notice.
Is there something wrong, Ernest?
No.
Only you seem a bit dubious about your potatoes.
No, I just think they didn't have them in those days, did they? Potatoes in Elizabeth's time.
Oh, yes, I did know that, Ernest. I remember learning that at school. Sir Walter Raleigh brought them back from America, didn't he, along with tobacco?
Yeah, that makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, how did somebody like Stan Ogden get on in those days? I mean, he spends half his time eating chips, the other half dragging on a cigarette.
Oh, I don't suppose people felt deprived, Ernest. After all, not having had those things, they wouldn't know they were missing anything.
How did they manage, Emily? No chips, no mash, no new potatoes with butter and a bit of mint, no roast potatoes for the Sunday lunch. Poor devils.
Oh, I think you're worrying too much about it, Ernest. It was supposed to be Merry England, after all.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your dinner.
Oh, it's all right. Ernest was interrupting himself. We thought we'd have an early lunch. I mean, what with the parade having to pass by without us, well, we felt rather at a loose end.
Yeah, I think most of them do. In fact, most of them are in the Rovers. Hard at it already.
Oh, I'm afraid there'll be a lot of drunkenness all over the country before the day is out. I wonder if the Queen worries about it.
I hardly think so, Emily. I mean, I know it's her Jubilee, but she's not to blame for what people make of it.
Anyway, look, the reason I popped in, you remember me asking you if you'd have Tracy while we went down to London for the weekend? Yeah. Well, we won't be needing you to look after her now.
Oh, and we were so looking forward to having her.
You're not going to London?
Well, it's just that Deirdre, doesn't want to be parted from her. You know how it is.
Well, we're not exactly without experience with children, you know, Ray. I mean, we've had those foster children, and Emily's very dependable.
Oh, I know, it's not that. It's just that, well, she thinks she might miss her too much, you know. Anyway, thanks all the same.
Oh, OK. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
Shut it. Oh, you will.
Hey, come on, let's have your... I know you're afraid, but I'll be round at your house, don't worry. Come on.
Guess we'll eat that stuff away one of these days, Hilda. Oh, well, at least your part of the pavement's not in no danger of that. Let me tell you something. Half the rubbish on this side belongs to your Stan. Look, your Stan's dog ends. Every night when he comes home, fag ends on my side. Oh, that's right. Go on, blame it on the Ogdens, same as everything else. Oh, why not? It was him that put the muckers on that lorry this morning. Now, you can't blame Stan for that. Definitely not.
What's up, Hilda?
I'm just saying, he took a great deal of trouble over that lorry, did Stan. Got no thanks for it and no pay neither. He even got up in the night to shift it. Parked it dead careful and even had the sense to leave the lights on. I suppose if he hadn't done, folk would have gone blundering into it and blamed him for that and all.
What was that you just said?
Eh? That bit about leaving the lights on all night. Well, he did do, and you can't say different because I've seen him. Oh, he thinks of everything, does Stan.
Well, no wonder the flaming lorry wouldn't start then. No wonder the battery was flat if he left the flaming lights on all night. He wants shooting, does your Stanley. He's responsible for this disaster. I just thought I'd drop in and see how you were feeling, Mrs. Walker. I know you were disappointed this morning.
Rather more than a disappointment, Ken.
It's a shame, isn't it, after all the trouble we've gone to?
Of course. Not all of them went to enough trouble. That's the crux of the problem.
Still, I don't suppose our absence in the parade was even noticed.
Sorry. I can't see it in that easygoing, don't-care attitude. I'm surprised to hear it from you. That's one of the things that's wrong with the country today. And when things went wrong, people just accepted it, drifted away. Wow.
Yeah, well, there wasn't a great deal we could do in the circumstances.
Oh, Ken. There's been such a national decline since the days of the Queen Elizabeth. Where would we be today if the Armada suddenly came sailing up the Channel?
Well, I haven't really thought about it.
Taking the day off, I suppose.
Yeah. So we were pretty relaxed even in those days, weren't we? I mean, Sir Francis did finish off his game of bowls.
There's a difference between being relaxed and being flat out, which is what we are today. Nobody tries hard enough anymore. And when things go wrong, nobody seems to care anymore.
I don't think what happened this morning was quite as symbolic as that, Mrs. Walker. I think a bit of bad luck, really. If you want to put the blame anywhere, I suppose we could say the brewery ought to maintain their wagons a bit better.
I see. So, you share Hilda Ogden's viewpoint, do you?
Well, what viewpoint is that?
Well, she thinks it's all my fault because I'm the one who asked the brewery to lend us a lorry, and you agree?
Oh, no, not at all. No, I didn't mean that.
Sorry about bursting in, Annie, but you ought to hear this. Hello, Ken.
Hi.
You'll want to hear this as well. It's about the lorry.
I suppose you think I'm to blame as well.
No, I've just found out why the battery was flat. Stan Ogden left the lights on all night.
Are you sure?
Oh, damn sure. Sorry, Annie. No, Hilda's just let it drop. Apparently a bobby came across and asked him to move the lorry across the road last thing last night, and he left the lights on.
And that woman had the nerve to blame me.
Oh, that's human error, I suppose, Mrs. Walker.
Error, certainly, but whether human or not is open to doubt. Where is Stan Ogden now?
I tell you, it was a waste of time and effort getting dressed up like this.
What trouble have you gone to? You got my jacket on, your old hiking gear, and you haven't had a wash, that's all.
Oh, you cheeky beggar. Hey, tell me something. You're supposed to be a caveman. What's that got to do with Britain's heritage?
We used to live in caves, didn't we?
Yeah, the pity some folk don't still live there.
Oh, I don't know where everybody's so now if we got a lorry, it wouldn't start. It's better this way.
How do you make that out?
Well, I'd have been driving, wouldn't I? And I couldn't have had a drink driving you lot. That'd be no good for me, that.
You've let us all down, Stanley.
Why didn't you tell us about it first thing this morning? Then we might have been able to do something about it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You left the lights on the lorry all night.
Who said?
Your Hilda said that too.
And what does she know about it?
Well, she knows when she sees lights on.
Hey, I nearly did myself a mischief this morning, even in straining at that flipping lorry. You want lock it up, Hoggy?
You've ruined our Jubilee Day, mate. That's what you've done.
You can't condemn a man for that.
You know, in First World War, you'd been court-martialed for that. You would, court-martialed.
Hey, why don't we have a court-martial? Kangaroo court, they call it, in the pool.
I won't waste my breath on you.
How about it, Stan? Have you got the guts to answer the charge?
Of course I have. I want legal aid.
Legal aid? I thought you said lemonade.
None of them really care, of course. Just welcome the chance to indulge in drunken horseplay.
Listen, I've got an idea.
No. On top of Jubilee Day being ruined, my car battery is completely useless.
Yeah, well, it was unfortunate about that. You know, you look tremendous in that outfit. You know, they really ought to have a chance to see you in the park.
Too late, love. The day's been ruined.
No, it's not. I've got my car outside. Now, I insist on taking you down there myself. I shall be your escort. Now, come on, Your Majesty. I insist.
Hey, look, Tracy. There's the Queen.
Well, you know what Deirdre's like. She won't let nobody look after the kid. Except you. Says you're the only one she can trust, like. Well, she's looking a bit peaky, that's all. Well, still, that's the way it goes, isn't it? I mean, if we can't go, we can't go. You what, mother-in-law? Hey, what a good idea.
Right, Stanley Ogden. You know what you're accused of? What do you say?
You've got to ask him how he pleads first.
Thirsty. I want a pint before it starts.
Objection.
Why?
Because I'm the one that'll have to go and pull it.
Well, objection overruled. Go and get him a pint. And while you're at it, I'll have a rum.
May I compliment Your Honour on a very sound ruling and submit that while he's there, I wouldn't mind partaking of the same.
Well, that's hard luck on you, isn't it?
Thank you, Your Honour, for nothing.
Hey, you got it at fingertips, haven't you? This legal stuff.
Don't worry, Stan. Your defence couldn't be in better hands. If the worst comes to the worst, I'll plead guilty but insane.
Hey?
Fellas, give him a day off and extended licensing hours like a bunch of little lads.
Well, keeps them off the street, doesn't it? Mind you, I reckon if they weren't in such a good humour, this could turn into a lynching party.
So I've been dangling from a lamppost, you mean?
Oh, hardly that. More like tar and feathers. He seems to be enjoying himself.
Well, of course he is. Now, Stan Ugly likes better than me, the centre of attention. Nothing any chap likes better.
Very true.
Aye, Your Honour. Come on, let's get on with it.
Right, well, order in court.
I thought you'd never ask, Your Honour. I'll have a pint, please.
Get on with it.
Right, now then. Are you Stanley Ogden of 13 Coronation Street?
Of course I am.
Now then, were you on Jubilee Day put in charge of the transport arrangements to wit one lorry?
They begged me to drive it because I was the only one got a heavy goods licence. you know.
Exactly. Now then, did you demand payment for driving the said lorry?
Well, when I mentioned it.
Thank you. And was this demand turned down with cries of derision?
Aye.
Aye. But why did you want paying?
Well, compensation, you know. I mean, I couldn't drink and drive. It's only fair.
I submit, Your Honour, that here we have the motive for this man's crime. It is obvious to everyone that he is a slave of the demon drink.
Objection, Your Honour. My learned friend here is calling my client a drunkard.
Tell him, Eddie.
He is not a drunkard. I admit he helps them out when they're busy, but he is not a drunkard.
Objection overruled.
Thank you, Your Honour. Now then, knowing that if he was driving he couldn't or shouldn't be drinking, he deliberately made sure that he wouldn't be driving. He let the battery of the lorry go flat.
I never did.
Mrs. Howard, will you please tell the court what Mrs. Hilda Ogden, the wife of the accused, said to you?
She said that Stan left the lights on all night. She saw he left them on all night when he went out to shift the lorry later that evening.
Objection, Your Honour. That is what we in the trade call hearsay evidence, and you can't allow it.
Oh, yes, I can.
Oh, no, you can't.
Who's the flipping judge here?
He couldn't judge a crumpet in the cake shop.
I heard that, and I shall remember it when I'm passing sentence.
By heck, Albert Tatlock. It's a good job you're not a proper judge. You're bad-tempered enough, but that's about all.
Oh, Stan, your dinner's ready. What's going on there? York stands on trial for ruining our Jubilee parade.
And you're just the witness that we want. Now then, are you Hilda Ogden of 13 Coronation Street?
No, your great title, I'm Princess Grace of Manhattan.
Objection, Your Honour. A wife cannot be made to give evidence against her husband.
You're quite right. Shove off.
Oh, you what? Look, I'm having my 2 pence the same as anybody else. I'm giving evidence whether you like it or not. Don't you worry, Chuck, I'll sort this lot out.
Now listen, did he or did he not leave them lights on all night?
No comment.
Did you or did you not tell Elsie Howard and Alf Roberts that he left them on?
No comment.
I want yes or no.
Well, you're not getting it. A wife can't be made to give evidence against her husband, so I'm not doing it.
With all due respect, Your Honour, I think I can wrap these proceedings up in a couple of minutes. Now, my client is a man more sinned against than sinning. He should not be on trial today. It's society that should be on trial.
Tell him, Eddie, tell him.
My client is a man of little education and even less sense. You cannot hold him responsible for his actions. He hasn't had the advantages. That's why he's thick.
Hang on.
If you punish my client, you might just as well punish 2 short planks.
You're supposed to be on my side.
Have a verdict, and then prosecuting counsel can get back behind the bar where he belongs and serve some drinks to us as his supping now.
Right. Well, the verdict is guilty.
Oh, that's right. When in doubt, blame the Ogdens.
Thank you, Your Honour.
And the court gives you a choice, Ted Ogden. You can take your pick. You can either be hung, drawn and quartered, or seeing as how it's your turn any road, you can buy a round of drinks.
So that's like.
Hello, love. You have a nice walk. Listen, I've got a bit of news for you. We're going to London after all.
Oh, Ray, don't start all that again. I'm not leaving her with the bishops, and that's final.
Your mum's coming up. She's getting the Friday afternoon off, and she's stopping the weekend while we buzz off down London.
Are you kidding me?
Of course I'm not. I've just been on the phone to her now.
Oh, that's great. How did you manage it?
Oh, dead easy. She didn't mind at all. You know she likes messing about with Tracy.
Oh, you see, you might argue with her, but she does have her uses.
You said you were going to buy a drink. That's what you said.
I'm going to get him in.
I know, but when? That was 2 hours since.
Well, I'm waiting for it to thin down a bit.
If it thins out much more, there'll be not but you here. Put your hand in your pocket.
All right, Fred, get him in.
About time too. Right, leave it up to me. I know what everybody's having.
Hello, have you been out to the park? Was it busy? Was it good?
No, you couldn't move. Smashing costumes,
good,
no?
was it? How did you get on, Mrs. Walker? Did you win a prize?
The standard of judging was abysmal.
Oh.
Ask me how I went on.
All right, then how did you went on?
Highly commended.
Oh, well done, well done. Very good.
Well, if you got a prize, I reckon I should get one.
Oh, I don't know about that, Mr. Tatlock. Granted, you look like him, but he's not very popular, is he?
Well, Sherpa Tenzin, of course, he's very popular.
Sherpa Tenzin? I thought you were General Armeen.
What made you think that?
Because you look like him, that's why.
Fred, I put you in my general aim.
All the time, Albert, all the time. Right, folks, here we are. These drinks are with Mr. Stanley Ogden's compliments.
I don't want him around, you know.
All the pub stand, that was the bets. He's doing this to let the battery go down.
Quite right and all.
Very generous gesture, Mr. Ogden.
I'm a very generous man.
It's the least you could do.
Come on, one tick, Mr. Walker. I'm skint. You know how it is.
Give us a pint, mate.
Are you sure you want one, pal?
Certainly am. Give us a pint.
Look, pal, I don't want to be funny, but don't you think you've had enough?
Well, I haven't. You're right, pal. I have had enough.
You have got problems.
What's that?
That lorry is still blocking the gates of the factory. You'll have to start thinking about getting it shifted.
Don't worry about it.
You'll have to get it shifted. We've got a delivery of materials coming tomorrow morning.
No, there isn't.
There is a delivery tomorrow morning.
It's cancelled. Forget it. Don't keep going on about it. The way things are going, we'll be on a 3-day week anyway. There isn't a business around, love. Not anymore.